We got another top pro ditching the Panther for greener pastures, and we got a major name from the past about to embark on a comeback tour. Tonight on the Cue Tang Clan. Good evening, fellow Qists. Thank you guys for being here. Let's get right into the action. Those of you who don't get your pool news from under a rock know by now that Mike DeShane, a former top level pro from the past, has just announced that he's making a comeback effort. Some people say who, other people shrug their shoulders, and then there's people like me that are absolutely cheering for it. It's so kind of weird to convey to you guys. I'm sure you guys all have a favorite player. You guys know my favorite player was Genki Sansuchi. After Genki passed, I kind of had a void of players that I was into watching. I think in some weird way we choose our favorite player as kind of like a reflection of who we are. You know, Genki for me was a slam dunk. You know, Italian from New York, had a rap to him. I mean, hello, you know, that's the guy that I am, and that's the guy that you know, I chose to be my favorite in pool. It was just, I felt like you know, I felt like we were brothers. We didn't know each other, but I felt like we were brothers, and therefore, you know, he quickly became my favorite pool player. You know, and then seeing Mike DeShane, I always kind of knew him as the guy that Genki had a massive comeback on. There's a great video on YouTube that I send out to pretty much everybody. It's probably my favorite Genki match on YouTube. You know, the small sample that we have. This was late in Genki's career. He was down, I don't know, 6-7 games in a race to 9 or 10 to Mike DeShane, and he just went on a massive comeback. He had his headphones in, pumping Eminem, and he just went on a massive comeback, and he beat Mike in a hill battle. And Mike DeShane was young, Genki was older at that point, and it's just Mike DeShane seemed like he just wanted to go in a corner and just start punching things. He was so upset about it. But that's how I knew him. I was watching my favorite player play, and he has a massive comeback on this guy, and you always kind of, you know, keep that little nugget in your brain about who it was and what they did. And then after Genki passed, you start to see this guy more and more, and then once again you start to see the resemblance of yourself. You know, Mike had a huge head, fired the balls in with no fear. Once again, that's me. You know, so it was kind of a little transition from Genki passing to a short time Mike DeShane becoming my favorite player. What a stellar start to his career that Mike had, and I say start because I don't think he's done by any means. I mean, the guy's only 37. He is far from done. These are our peak prime years in his career. I mean, he was the best in the world at a point. You know, early 2010s, early teens. You know, 2012 to 2016, 2017. He was him and SVB always fluctuated 1 and 2, and every time he was 2 and SVB was 1, he always kicked the crap out of him. So, I mean, in my estimation, I always considered him best in the world. I mean, hell, that pool show, The Hustlers, that we all loved, that there was one season of. I mean, the thing was based pretty much around Mike DeShane. He was the top name. He was the top draw in pool at that time. And that's why he was on the show, because he was such a draw. He was such a great pool player. I think it's kind of a thing with Mike DeShane to where he was so good and so young and so confident. I don't think a lot of people really took to him. And if you watch the last level two billiards live with me and Jay, we kind of hit on that. And he says, Mike's not very liked. And I said, neither are we. And we can smell our own. We kind of, that's kind of a personality trait that I guess I saw in Mike, and that also made him a favorite of mine. The thing with Mike, the way Poole was, I feel like I'm saying back then, but it's like 10, 12, 15 years ago. The way Poole was back then, if you're looking for stability and regular paychecks and a future and insurance, I'm sorry to say this, Poole's not your game. And Mike saw that, and he went out and got a job. He had a good job. I don't know if he was something with windows and glass. I don't know if it was like a blinds place. All I remember is something about windows. But the guy had a good job and a good opportunity, and he took it. Obviously, he didn't quit playing pool. He stuck to pool, and little tournaments here and there around his area, around the Northeast. He popped up and played in. Derby City, he showed up to. Jason Shaw had a tournament at his pool hall in Connecticut. Mike showed up, so he wasn't out of the game. I mean, he always gambled. We always used to kind of check in on him. He knew I was into Predator, so we used to chat a little bit about Predator shafts. He used to tell me when he'd pick up some old classic Predator shafts, and we'd kind of geek out about that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the guy wanted stability in his life. I don't know if he had the girlfriend or the same girlfriend, or he's married now. But he wanted stability. You kind of want to live a normal life. Pull a lot of travel, ton of travel involved, and sometimes you're chasing little purses, just to make your nut. And it's a tough gig. It's not the matchroom scene that everybody makes it out to be. I mean, pool on the regular is you got to look at something like the WPA. Low money, less events. It's this matchroom thing it's an oddity. And I think that's why he's making a final comeback effort, as he calls it, because if this money's going to be around and there's always going to be these tournaments, I think he not only wants to get paid, I think he wants to see how he fares against today's crop of players, because I mean he was legit the best back then, before he became a part-time player and left to go do his job thing. I mean, he was the best. He was legit the best. Multi-time Mosconi Cupper. And Mike will be the first one to tell you that he's not a team player. He's more of a soloist. Although the doubles matches that you see on YouTube, to where he was playing with somebody, at a match with Sky, match with SBB, and very, very team friendly. They very good with communication, and they talked about the shots, and he told them where he wanted to be left. And I mean, he wasn't a horrible teammate. I mean, I just think that maybe that's a feeling that he has, like he would just prefer to be a soloist. So I mean, that aside, he's still selected to the teams, and I think he was the obvious first choice. Next to Shane Van Boening for those squads back then. Let's just hope he gets his once you start putting the time required into playing full time. You kind of get your sea legs back and all that. So let's hope that he gets his sea legs back to where he's competing like we know that he can. And I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see a full, caught up to speed and sharp, game ready Mike Dechaine play somebody like Josh Filler and Eklund Kachi and FSR, because if he's as good as I remember and as good as I feel he is, then these guys should have great competitions. And I'm as a Bull fan, I'm excited to see that stuff. I think it's going to take him a bit. I think it'd take around a year for him to get back into that top speed groove. But I'm excited, man. It was like what's funny is I think they announced it on Ginky's birthday, which was August 8th. So I remember typing something in my stories like, on Genki's birthday, we got this great gift of Mike DeShane back. So I mean, for me, those are two names that are always connected because they're my two favorite players of all time. But I think in a way more than I know that they have this connection. I heard a podcast a couple years ago with Emily Frazier and Carl Boyes. I forgot which podcast it was, but I know they were kind of dissing Mike a bit. I don't know if Carl Boyes and Mike had a thing from the past, but it was pretty negative on their parts towards him. And I just hope, being an American, Mike, being a fan of Mike, um, he's going to turn people on their heads, man, and that's what I expect out of him. He's so good. He's got such a sharp knowledge for the game and a God-given skill to go with it. He's going to make people upset, and he's going to throw a wrench in the gears of all the pretty people that seem to be on the Matchroom posters right now that are Emily Frazier's favorites and all that stuff. So I'm just so looking forward to this. I don't know if he would return to a Mosconi Cup if he was in the position, especially with this points thing now. Obviously, if he's into the points and he's selected for the team, I don't think he's going to turn it down. But it's interesting to see. It's very interesting to see. I think maybe he was kind of a cowboy back in the day. I'm wondering if this time away to where he matured as an adult. I'm wondering if that part of his game, calmed down. That used to be his nickname was Fireball, and that's not because he fires him in. I mean, he was just a hot tempered guy, and I'm wondering if time away and age does it to everybody. I'm wondering if that'll calm him down to where it's just really just all about the pool and none of the drama for him. But we all get the time hits us all. We all get the seasoning and we calm down a bit. I mean, look at me, for instance. I used to be a total nitwit out there running the streets, acting a fool. So time calms us down, and maybe, hopefully, that's how it is for Mike. And he's seasoned and mature, but he's still got that God-given pool skill. I'm very excited to see that. Moving along, we got another top level pro leaving Predator. I mean, this is a lot in the past 12 months. We've got quite a list of names that left Predator. FSR, David Alcady, Darren Appleton, Oscar Dominguez, Savannah, Margaret Fefalova, and now Tyler Steyer has announced that he's leaving Predator. I don't think Predator is doing anything different from a business standpoint, because they still are they still move the most units and make the most money in the Q world. Look at any of their reported earnings. They crush everybody else. People just want that Panther, man. It looks cool, for production cues. They make some good, decent stuff. So I think people flock to them, and not only that, but they put a lot of money out on in the street in the very beginning. They were just signing up everybody. But it looks like this relationship with Predator and the WPA, it's caused some friction, with Matchroom and all the drama going on with the events and the clashing they have to offer. It seems like a lot of guys that went the Matchroom route left Predator. I don't know if it was something that's urged or strongly insinuated for them to do, but I mean, some major names that you thought were going to be lifelong Predator people, just gone with the wind. However, the fillers, Josh Filler and Pia Filler, they remain with Predator. Eklund Kachi, Christina Tkach, and the Oceans, Jasmine and her brother Alban Ocean. They are still with Predator. I don't think Josh Filler and Pia Filler will ever leave Predator. They won that team event last year, where it was three partners. They won it with Moritz Neuhausen, where Pia hit those overtime shots. She took her cue and she was standing in front of Kareem, and she was kissing her cue. It's like, I know these guys really love Predator, so I don't expect to see them leave. But hey, it's anything can happen. It's when you got these giant purses thrown in front of you, and they're kind of insinuating that you do something. I mean, it's your career, it's your livelihood. You got to do it for your well being. So Tyler had announced on his social medias that August 1st, he announced that he's leaving Predator and he's looking for new sponsor opportunities. What does that mean? Who the hell knows? Is there something in the works for him? Probably. In case you guys haven't seen my Super Billiards Expo video from April, go back in the library and check it out. I'm walking around the Expo Center, and Tyler Steyer is hanging out quite a bit for a couple days at the JP Shower booth. So what do we know about the connection between Tyler and P Shower? Tyler's a Wisconsin guy. He's from Vernon, Wisconsin. P Shower's located in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And not for nothing, but I don't like Wisconsin. I don't like Green Bay. I've been a Chicago Bear fan for over 40 years. No, we don't do Green Bay stuff. But anyway, I digress. So P Shower's a Wisconsin brand. Viking, also a Wisconsin brand. Tyler said that he wouldn't change equipment before the end of the season because he didn't. I guess he's counting himself into the Mosconi, and he didn't want to throw himself off with different gear. He also said he wants something that would help him improve his game, and something that he can help improve also by his road usage and all that. So I believe, I think his wife is already with 60 and Viking. I could see him joining them also, but he says he wants to participate in some R&D. And I think Fedor currently does a lot of R&D for 60 and Viking. So I don't know if they would consider his input also, or maybe he just wants to, let his wife have something and then he'll go after something on his own. I would say out of two brands, I would say he would be going to Viking or P Shower. I would likely say P Shower. I think it's still a Wisconsin brand. It's closer to the spot that he plays at, the varsity club. So I think there's kind of like a neighborhood hometown feel for that. And maybe he doesn't want to take anything away from his wife and the deal that she signed. I mean, in my opinion, I've been right. I don't want to brag, but I've been right on a few of these in the past. And it's just the feeling I get from seeing him hang out at that booth, knowing where they are and where he's from. I just think it's a natural fit. They've got a few pros linked to them. Obviously, newer David Alcady just joined them. They've obviously had April Larson, the grinder, for quite a bit. So who knows? I know they've always been like a name in the industry, but kind of a mid-level handmade custom brand. So who knows? Maybe they're jumping in with both feet, like 60 is when they signed Fader and now Margaret. Maybe they're trying to make a splash too and bring Tyler aboard. I think it would be a fit for him. He seems like a hardcore Wisconsin guy. So these two brands to look at, I would kind of look at them for where he's going in the future. But if I had to pick one, I would be leaning more towards P Shower. but it's something, going on with this whole Matchroom WPA rift, and obviously you see it branching out into cues now. It's like guys are favoring one side and this side by the cues they use, and it's crazy. It's like NASCAR from the 90s. It's like we got Pepsi drivers and Coke drivers, and they won't drink this and they can't drink that. And it's weird, man. It's the more and more it becomes televised, the more and more you see these hardcore promotions and pick a side mentality, and it's just I don't know. It's good to see, because you want to see this game grow, but it's also like, what happened to my little quiet gentleman's game that that used to be just mine. It's like now it's everybody's, and I guess in from each side of the ring you can see that. But yeah, hey, I'm glad, because the more eyes on this sport, obviously, the better off these guys are getting paid, and that's what we want to see in the long run. We just want to see these guys get paid what they're worth. So many years, it's you hear people getting stiffed, and for instance, the WPA and I don't really think they're getting paid very fairly, and that's an understatement. I don't think they're getting paid good at all. It would be nice to see more and more eyes just get these guys some better paychecks, to where start looking at these guys like pro athletes and rock stars and everything. I think that's the end goal. So yeah, so we got Tyler moving on from Predator, and Mike DeShane coming back, and it's a good week for pool. We just had the Euro Open. This week we got the race between Fedor and SVB. That's going to be a good one. There's a little regional WNT tour in Long Island, New York at Rax. And then next week, the U.S. Open, starting Monday, the U.S. Open. So this is prime time pool we're having right now. So you guys get excited about it, man. This is as good as it gets. And we got good players from the past coming back. We got young players popping up like Mickey Krause and the win that he just had. And it's exciting, man. So get out there, play some pool, watch some pool, enjoy some pool, buy some cues, and let me know what you get. That's all I got for this time, guys. Once again, I want to thank the few of you who watch this and support me and comment and like and subscribe, man. I appreciate the hell out of it. If you haven't subscribed or even caught the show and this is your first time, please do all that. Please touch all the buttons, like and subscribe, and make some comments and just let me know what you think. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what kind of cues you play with, man. It's just drop it all down in the comment section. I love the banter. Please don't be shy about it. So that's about it. Until the next time, guys. Thank you. Take it easy.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.